Hi there, and welcome to what is shockingly not an achievement hunting video. I've had this idea rattling around in my brain the last couple weeks, pretty much ever since these were added to the game. Runestones, an in-game currency that you spend real-life currency for, and needless to say, nobody likes these things. From people feeling that it's predatory, that you're basically purchasing something else, so it kind of takes your mind off of how much things costs, with other players noting how certain items in the shop are priced at such a way as to leave you with an odd number left that you can't really buy anything with, to other players noting that now the Battlegrounds Season Pass is only available with and not with gold anymore like the perks used to be, including the 2 extra hero selections. So a lot of players are, talking, saying this is the final straw, I'm uninstalling over this, but there might be a lot of other players that are just thinking, well, maybe I'll just spend less money in the game, or even stop spending any money. So I had this idea. I've been a free-to-play player for a grand majority of my time playing Hearthstone. I started playing in Whispers of the Old Gods, and I can almost count the number of things I've bought ever with real money in one hand. I've bought a couple of the premium battle passes for the standard sets, and I bought the welcome bundle, or the starter bundle, whatever it was. They came with, I think, 10 classic packs and 1 classic legendary for $5. They put that in the shop and then put it in again if you wanted to purchase it a second time, which I did, because let's face it, that was like the best value for stuff. But other than that, I've never pre-ordered a set. I've always spent gold with pretty much anything I've acquired, so I kind of wanted to make a little video on some tips and tricks that I use to stay a budget or free-to-play player. As of this set, I did not purchase the premium reward track. If I scroll down here, there it is. I can buy it if I want. I haven't. This is the first set in a while that I haven't, so I'm technically, once again, a free-to-play player. So I wanted to kind of give a rundown of my, I don't want to say my philosophy, but just the things I do from set to set, with three main points. One being gold management, a second being dust management, and a third kind of being like a catch-all category for everything else. Just, I guess, a little bit of a disclaimer here. If you follow these, you're pretty much not going to get a full collection. There are holes in my collection if we take a quick peek and click on crafting. I do have holes, but they're not super big holes. Like if I look at Demon Hunter here, like this, I had this card, but it got nerfed, so I dusted it. Wayward Sage is a card that's not seeing play, so I don't mind. I don't care that I don't have Kurtris or Crixus in my collection. Pretty much, I have everything that's relevant, and if you look at the amount of dust I have, if I can hit this button right now for another 11,000 dust or so, and other than that, I have 16k right here. So just the way I've been playing, leads me to, I pretty much have everything I need, and I never feel like I'm wanting for cards. So like I said, if you're one of those players that's in any of these buckets, keep watching on. If you're the kind of player that feels like they have to have every card, wants to try to get as much in golden as they can, wants to get every portrait even, might want to skip this one, because this one is just probably going to trigger weird parts of your brain that are going to bother you that I don't have this quest. I never really felt the need to play this one. So like I said, I'm going to cover this in 3 sections. The first being gold management, which is, I think, maybe the most important thing, because gold is pretty much how I buy everything that I do. And it's also the thing that can probably be summed up the most succinctly. There's only 2 things you ever want to spend gold on. One is just spend pretty much all your gold on packs at the beginning of an expansion. And the second is buy the mini set. Those are the only things I spend gold on. I'm sitting here at 5,600 gold right now, and I'm going to purchase the mini set, and then I'm going to save everything else for the next set. That's all there is. You want to purchase one of the card backs you're missing? Don't do it. You want to purchase one of the cool portraits that's on here. As cool as Ilaria is, not doing it. Can't do it. Even though it does come with a card back. I have been doing this, I want to say, for sure since Ungoro, but potentially even as far back as Mean Streets of Gadgetzan. I pretty much just bulk bought a bunch of packs. Pretty much said, I'm not spending on anything else, just buying all the packs for the new set. I'll obtain the rest of my collection filling in with the classic set through Tavern Brawl, which I'll talk about later. And then save up for the next one. Just a couple numbers that I've noticed throughout the years. Around 60 packs will get you all the rares. 2 copies of each rare, of course all the commons, and hopefully a decent little number of epics and legendaries as well. Now, you're going to be missing a lot if you open just 60. I usually shoot for around 100 or so. There's other things to take note of as well, namely at what point in the standard year it is. Like if it's the first set of a standard year, you might want to spend more heavily versus the third set of a rotation, just because those cards will be in standard for longer. So for example, for this set that we're currently in, I saved around 2,000 gold, because I had seen in interviews or something that developers had said that the third set of this expansion cycle will be larger than normal. They didn't elaborate on that, but we have to assume that means it's going to be more cards in it. So I wanted to save a little extra gold so I could, hopefully purchase a couple extra packs around there. But I usually shoot for around 100 on day one, and then fill it in with month-end rewards, Twitch drops and stuff throughout. And hey, it's been working pretty good for me. So you could theoretically, if you're good enough, I'm terrible at arena, so I never use my arena runs really. But I think duels is also a good way. It's more consistent anyway to go infinite in duels than arena. So if you're going to be buying those tavern tickets kind of thing, maybe learn to play duels and do that as well. Unless you're super good, lucky at arena and can do that. Other than that though, like I said, just to reiterate, gold, buy packs at the beginning of a set, buy the mini set. That's pretty much it. Okay, so like I said, the second section I want to talk about here is dust management. This is just as important, maybe, but it's been serving me well, at least. I don't dust cards as they go to wild. I have a fairly healthy wild collection since I've been playing. I still have my copy of, let's see, if I go to wild and mage, that's not mage. Go to wild and mage, I still have what I like to call one of the worst legendaries ever made in Anomalous. Never dusted my copy, just on the off chance I want to meme at some point. Yeah, I still have it. I could get 400 dust for it right now, but I don't need the dust. And I think that's one of the main things I want to go for is don't really dust cards unless you absolutely need the dust. If you look through, I have... Why are we still on 7+? If we look through my collection, I still have, quite a few copies of some of these cards. I have 4 copies of Need for Greed, 7 copies of Bone Glaive. I think that's one I was kind of hoping would get nerfed when that deck was really good, but, we all knew it wasn't. 3 copies of this, and if you keep going, I have a bunch of copies of some of these cards. And that's because unless you absolutely need the dust to craft a card right now, it's better to hold on to anything. You never know what card could end up getting nerfed down the line. Yeah, so for example, one of the cards that just got hit in nerfs in the most recent patch is Nightcloak Sanctum, the location for Mage. Now, I had 7 regular copies and a couple golden copies that I was lucky enough to open, but the fact that I held on to all those copies, I was able to get a huge amount of dust back for this. And also, just as a side note, please dust every card that gets nerfed, regardless if you think you're going to be using it again, or unless you actively are using it. Because if you have a card and then dust it for the full refund value, it costs you a net of 0 to get it back if you want to make it again later. So if I want to recraft Edwin, for example, it costs me nothing because I got 1,600 dust for dusting it, and it just costs 1,600 again. But it's sort of a, if I use that dust for something else, then you're getting into kind of semantics there. But as a general rule, I tend to dust everything that gets nerfed as it gets nerfed, because there's no real penalty. Also, and I'll talk about achievements later because, that's my thing. If a card gets nerfed that has an achievement tied to it, once again, it won't cost you anything to craft that card, do the achievement with it, dust that card. Then you get a little bit of rewards track experience as well as your dust back. It's a win-win. Other than that, if you are going to, look at me being a hypocrite. I kept my copy of Guff because I'm actually using him in some stuff in Wilds, and he's still fine, I think. But if we, and also you can just search for refund in the collection if you didn't know that you could do that. It's just an easy way to find those. But if you do absolutely need dust, try to focus on cards that pretty much have 0 chance or a close to 0 chance of ever getting nerfed. Like this 6 mana card for Druid, I forgot was even in the game. I've never seen it played. I have more than 10 copies of this thing, and if I needed the dust, I could, dust these. Other common things are, neutral cards that get like golden copies given to you. Like there we go, I found him, Tuskar Trawler. If you have any non-golden copies of this guy, maybe dust him, because this is a card that's, it's innocuous enough, will probably never get nerfed, fairly safe. Regular Volatile Skeleton, also probably pretty safe to dust. Also, just in general, as a rule, and a lot of YouTube people and streamers say this, but don't craft anything within the first week or two of a set. The meta's changing so much. If you're the kind of player that's kind of scraping by for dust and can really only make one deck or maybe 2 decks if you skimp on a couple epics here and there, you really want to wait for the meta to settle so you can actually know what's not a waste of your dust. Back in sets a long time ago, I spent a couple sets with really only 1.5 decks, really, because I wanted to save up my dust for when when there was stuff I actually wanted to play and make sure I had enough. Now it led to today where I have a bunch. So dust management, it's pretty important, but just if you keep disciplined with it, like the gold thing, you'll start to see that, you can get by without pre-ordering or not doing the big pre-order, or just, spending a little less here and there. And that's really the point I'm trying to make here. And now section number 3, sort of a hodgepodge of everything else that I think about and goes into my Hearthstone playing. And I switched here because there's a couple things here I want to talk about, but also I just really needed some new music in my head after the collection music for so long. But quests, it's a good thing to talk about. I re-roll every quest that gives 900 experience. But what I used to do is if I, only had a single quest and it re-rolled from a 900 to a 900, I'd, consider playing less or not, basically playing enough to where I didn't do that quest that day. But odds are, if you're playing enough to do a quest anyway, you'll make up that 100 experience plus more. So if you have time to play and you want to play, don't stop yourself from playing just to min-max your quest experience here, because you'll easily make that up. Also, it goes without saying, do all your quests. If you don't have time to play every day, every 3 days to clear out your dailies, just log in to re-roll them every day, even if you're not going to play. Those 100 points do add up eventually, and occasionally you get one of these glorious 1500 ones on a reroll, and that feels real good as well. But a lot of the 1000-point ones that are just play 3 games as a certain class, just throw on a game in casual and just idle for it and concede after turn 5 or whatever. Those are super easy to get done. But yeah, make sure all your dailies and weeklies get done. Yeah, and other than that, for more rewards track experience, achievements. That's sort of my whole thing here that I make Hearthstone videos for. And I want to say at the end of the last set, without any experience boosts, it was enough for about 600 gold if you take it at the post level 100 experience levels. So that's a decent little chunk. That's 6 packs right there. And it's, a lot of these ones that have 3 steps to them, like this relics one for Demon Hunter. There's a common relic, there's a rare relic. You only have to play 100 in total, so you don't even need the epic one, really. That one's for a legendary, but a lot of these 3-step ones that give the most experience are for rares or lower, which you pretty much should have anyway. So if you're not going to focus on clearing every achievement, at least kind of focus on the ones that are going to maximize the amount of experience you get. Because hey, like I said, every little thing helps, and this is a great way to do it. I know a lot of people don't really like Tavern Brawl anymore, especially with how, well, I say how long it's been since there's been a new one, but we actually had a new one last week. But doing your Tavern Brawl, at least one win every week, gives you a free standard pack. Helps a lot as well. I like to start saving up my standard packs like pretty much right as soon as they announce whatever the next set's going to be. I start saving up any standard pack I get from anything, just because at the start of a set with the duplicate protection, a standard pack almost acts like a pack of the new set as well. So if you're trying to scrape by a little bit and don't have a lot of gold, save up some standard packs because they'll get you there for some commons and rares. And if you're lucky, an epic or a legendary. Yeah, it's just a generally good thing. This is a trick I feel like a lot of people know about, but make sure you have an arena run going whenever the arena season is about to rotate. So should be here from time of recording in a couple weeks when we should be getting the mini set. That will be an arena rotation, so just make sure you have a run going for that because you'll be refunded your tavern ticket and be given whatever rewards you were at in your run, which is a pack and usually a little bit of dust or some gold. It helps, and it's technically free because you'll get your tavern ticket back. Same with duels for whenever they reset the seasons, but they do that far less often. Like I think even sets coming out doesn't count for it. They will always do an announcement on their website in blog posts, which leads into the next thing I want to talk about is social media. Follow their social media stuff to know when certain stuff is going to happen, especially the esports one. They, at least at the start of this expansion set, there's like no music on this screen, I just realized. At the start of the Castle Nathria thing, they were doing the Grandmaster's last call, and they were giving out YouTube drops for the Grandmaster stuff. 2 drops each week for a total of, I think, 8, and then they had a tournament in there as well. So it was like, over the course of 5 weekends, you could get 10 free packs just for turning on the stream and idling for it. You, of course, have to make sure that your account, your YouTube account and your Battle.net account are connected, but it's great ways to earn free packs and stuff. Also, there's other weird things, like there was some French stream a couple weeks ago that I missed out on because I didn't know it existed because I didn't pay attention enough. And I know it sucks to have to tell somebody, pay attention to the social media to know how to get free stuff, but if you're playing on a budget or without spending any money, like I said, every little pack helps. Every drop is super valuable to players like us. So follow the accounts, and hey, if you don't want to follow the official account for whatever reason, follow Ben Hearthstone. Dude tweets like all the time about anything you'll ever need to know about Hearthstone. Good one-stop shop for any special things going on, any kind of drops or any special events, or even just reminders for your arena or duel stuff. Dude's really good about that kind of stuff. So shout outs to him. Not that he really needs it. He's got a ton of followers, but good stuff, dude. Keep it up. So I think that's about it. There might be a couple things I missed out on. If you can think of anything that I missed, please feel free to leave those in a comment below. Help out a fellow player. Maybe it could help me out. Maybe it's something I didn't even know about. And also, leave in the comments, where are you in your Hearthstone spending mindset right now? Are you looking to spend a little less? Are you fine to keep spending what you have been, or are you looking to go free to play as well? For anyone that says Hearthstone is a pay-to-win game, there's a little bit of truth to that because the more you spend, the more cards you'll have. But as someone who's hit Legend a couple times without spending a dime on this game, or very, very little aside from a couple classic pack bundles back in the day, that I think I got Nat Pagle or Lorewalker Cho as my free legendary, so not even a usable one. I've hit Legend a couple times and have come close a couple other times as well, so it's very, very doable on little to no money. So it can be done. If that's any inspiration to you, take that, and I'm happy that you've taken it. But yeah, just leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of this whole thing, how you're spending, if you care to share, if you're a whale, if you're a minnow, or if you're completely free to play as well. I'd love to hear from you. But I think that's about it. So I guess just general stuff here. Thank you for watching so much. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch. I'm at HeyTallman at both places. Should be playing through Hollow Knight on Twitch for the foreseeable future until that's done. So come check me out there. It's a lot of fun. I'm loving Hollow Knight, by the way. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it took me this long to play it. But yeah, other than that, that's about all I have to say this week, and we will hopefully be back soon with some more achievement hunting. So I was about to do the normal send-off, and I don't really know what to do for this one, so take easy. See you later.